Well, football fans, Dallas Cowboys fans, and everybody else, tonight was a pretty special night. A lot of tonight was a Hall of Fame induction. Tomorrow will be the Hall of Fame game, and the Cowboys get to be in that, so I get to watch one extra preseason game of the Dallas Cowboys. Tonight there's a lot of great players, great story. A lot of these guys I didn't get to watch play. Since a lot of them played before I was even born. Um, but I would really, and all of them truly deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But I'm really, just going to talk about the one guy. And I do this not just to put him above everyone else, but because he's my guy. It's Emmitt Smith, Dallas Cowboy. And I'll let, the fans of the other teams that were represented tonight give their take on their guy. Jerry was great. Russ Grimm, Dick LeBeau, all these guys, Floyd Little, all those guys were great. But, Emmitt Smith, to me, when I was younger, a lot of you guys know this, was my favorite player. He was always my favorite Cowboy. He's one of the things, I always loved the Dallas Cowboys, but he was one of the main reasons that really just made you really fall in love with the team. Along with Troy, along with Michael. I mean, that team was stacked, the team of the 90s. But I don't know, it's just something about, I love the fact that one of the things I always remember about Emmitt Smith, we always know about the way he ran, his tenacity, the way he got after it. What I always loved about Emmitt Smith was almost all the time when he scored a touchdown, he would always try to find the offensive lineman that made the key block. And he would either jump into their arms to give them the ball to spike it. He always tried to, he always realized that he was not the only guy that got him to where he was. As a running back, you rely on that offensive line and your fullback to get you your yard, to open up lanes, and then you do it from there. And tonight really exemplified that from what he spoke. Of course, he named off all his offensive line that ever played for him. But one guy in particular, and we all know, is Moose Johnson. One first off the way, and I know what he was pumping. He didn't say it, but I know it's what he meant. Put the man in the Hall of Fame. Daryl Johnson is one of the greatest fullbacks of all time, and without this guy, Emmitt doesn't get in, and Emmitt knows that. He said that tonight, and how much that Daryl Johnson sacrificed his body, his spirit, everything. I mean, Daryl Johnson had a terrible neck injury to end his career. He's a guy, he's one of the greatest Cowboys of all time. He was part of that team, and he's one of those guys I think should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. I know all Cowboys fans believe that as well. But I just think, Emmitt's speech tonight was excellent, and I don't know, I don't like to sit there and rank these kind of things because this isn't something that needs to be ranked. Like, this speech was better than that because this is a celebration for all of football. Everyone, you see out in the out there in the fans, you had when Jerry Rice came up, when Jerry and Emmitt were in their prime, they were big time, right? It was Cowboys-Niners almost every year. And I hated the Niners when I was a little kid. And the Niners fans hated the Cowboys. And it was cool to see Jerry Rice come up, get his name called, and have Dallas Cowboys fans giving him a standing ovation. And the same way, with Russ Grimm, Cowboys fans giving them, and then you turn around, Emmitt gives up, and Redskins and 49ers fans are giving them standing ovation. It was just a night of respect. That's why I always loved the Hall of Fame induction. These guys always have something interesting to say. It's just, it really, and I love to see that most of the guys who get inducted seem to have their priorities in line. They're guys who give thanks to God, they give thanks to their family, and they seem to have a good perspective on life. And they truly are appreciative of what they have, and know that they're blessed to be in the Hall of Fame. One of the memories I'll have of Emmitt Smith was when he broke the record. That they played the Seattle Seahawks in Dallas, and he had like 90-something yards to go. And, the Cowboys weren't good that year. And so people thought, he may not break, he may get half that game, because Emmitt wasn't having a great year either. I mean, it wasn't a good year for the Cowboys. But it was a foregone conclusion he'd break the record that year. He just was going to. But I get a strong feeling a lot of people thought that he could do it that night. Well, it was an early game, and of course we had church in the morning. So I went to church that morning, and I remember, though, after church I said, Mom, we got to go quick. Mom, Dad, we got to go quick because we got to see Emmitt break the record. And I had it taped and everything, but, it's not the same watching on tape. And I got home, and I got home in time to see him break the record. I got home, I saw it, they had the ticker on the side, he hadn't done it yet, and then he finally broke it. Now, we lost that game, but, that season was kind of a wash anyways, but that was really the moment of that season, and it really, really put an exclamation point on his time with the Cowboys in the NFL. So, Emmitt, congratulations for being in the Hall of Fame. Congrats, Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman. The Triplets are finally in there, and hopefully we can get a couple more of those guys from those teams in the Hall of Fame. And I think it does. It shows there's a legacy, the Dallas Cowboys legacy. That '90s team, those '90s teams, some of the best ever. And we've got a team this year that's not on that level, but they definitely have. They have that motivation. They have that history behind them to motivate them to say, this is what the guys before you have done. Go out there and try to achieve that. Emmitt Smith talked about making goals tonight. And I think this Dallas Cowboys team needs to make some goals. And I think we're on the right track to do something special this year. But that's for later on this season. But right now, this is about Emmitt Smith, one of the best running backs of all time. I won't say he's the greatest because Emmitt has publicly said that he does not want to be called the greatest of all time because he wants Walter Payton to be that. And I'll oblige him in that. But he's one of the greatest of all time, and he is the leading rusher. And I don't think anyone's ever going to break it, at least not anytime soon. So, congratulations, Emmitt. Congratulations, Dallas Cowboys fans. And how about them Cowboys? Let's have a great season.